Welcome back to another episode of MKZ The Podcast. We got the gang back in the building. Kevon, how you feeling?
Feeling good.
Feeling great. Smack, how you feeling?
Brethren, me I feel wonderful.
Yeah, I feel wonderful. The only thing that's not wonderful is that damn AC unit, boy. You gotta turn that shit off. But hey, man, today we wanted to first off, like we do it damn near every episode, because y'all know we have so much going on. We would just like to apologize for the break. You know, it's hard, bro. It's hard to get all of us coordinated at the same time to be able to record and give y'all episodes very, very frequently just because, all of us work, all of us go to school at the same time. So, it's kind of difficult, but we try our best to just, bang out as much content as possible. And we know we promised y'all a NBA Finals recap, but let's face it, we Heat fans. We wasn't gonna want to talk about that dumbass NBA Finals ending anyway. Congratulations
Put
to
that
the
one on.
you feel me? Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets. Congratulations to Jokic. Whatever. That's all they're getting from us, bro. We're looking forward to the offseason to see what we could bang out from there. But in today's episode, like we said, we wanted to start catering more to wider audiences and talking about things more than just sports sometimes because sports is important to us and sports is a big part of our life. But sports isn't everything, of course, and it's so many different things that we want to share with you guys and so many different perspectives that we you know would like to put out there and get your guys' feedback on. So while sports is kind of slow right now, and all my sports bettors, y'all know sports is kind of slow, so stop donating to Prize Picks and all these other apps. Please stop donating. I'm a victim because they're getting my money too. But we wanted to start like I said, speaking about more life related things in this segment called Life in the Off Season. So basically, whenever we're dropping episodes for the remainder of the summer and for the foreseeable future, we're going to be calling them Life in the Off Season episodes, and we're just going to be discussing how life has been, discussing different things. Every now and then you might get an occasional off-season rumors or bombshells video where we discuss some of the trades or some of the free agency signings and things like that we've seen from the NBA or the NFL or things of that nature. But we wanted to use this summer to just talk more with you guys about just life in general. So with the first episode of Life in the Off Season, of course we got to start with our question of the day, and our question of the day is very, very much tied into what our topic is for today. So the question of the day is something that I feel like hasn't really gotten the traction that it should have gotten. And it's very interesting to think about because it's something that, we're gonna go into detail in as far as this episode is concerned. But the question of the day for the audience is, did you guys know it was Men's Mental Health Month? Because I didn't. And I feel like that's something that does not get talked about a lot, and it's something that it gets, brushed under the carpet a lot of times, and
Courtesy.
you feel me? It gets brushed away for the most part. And if you did know it was Men's Mental Health Month, did you take an initiative to try to check up on, a significant male figure in your life, if you have one, a significant male figure in your life, say mental health, or, just how they're doing and things of that nature? We just want to know because our topic for today is something, a bit deeper as far as the conversation is concerned. But with before anything, we want to preface what caused us to think about this topic, and it's Lil Uzi finally dropping his long-awaited Pink tape. It's about to come. As a matter of fact, when this episode comes out, it would have came out by now. We're recording the day before, so um,
Mhm.
we're all waiting for it. We're all music fans, as you guys know. We've been bumping the little snippets and everything we've seen. We low key just saw the track list. I hope that's not the real track list because I ain't really messing with the features like that. But we'll see. We'll see. We got an hour and some change until that album comes out. But the reason we're bringing up Uzi is because if those for those of you that just know, this past weekend we had our the BET Awards. A very celebrated awards show in the black culture, and let's just say it was low key a mess from start to finish. It was kind of ratchet. You had crazy shit going on. You had bitches twerking on bitches. You had Uzi getting phones thrown at him. You had no host. I heard there was like barely a host in the hosting the show. you
I
heard
should have
you.
hosted that boy.
I didn't even watch it, but like it was just so much going on. And then the one thing that sparks our discussion is just how at least the public perception of how Uzi was treated. So, like we said, we had the throwing of the phones by JT. If y'all don't know, JT and him are supposedly in some sort of relationship, some sort of they're messing with each other in some way, shape, or form. Apparently, she threw her phone at him like twice, and there's a video that went viral where this lady's asking for a picture. Uzi's kind of hesitant to give it, and she grabs him by the neck and get her ass over here, pulls him into the picture and shit like that. So, you know, the question for today is just like, do we feel like domestic violence and domestic and abuse in relationships in general is something that should never be taken lightly? But do we feel as though when roles are opposite of what we typically think of when we think of domestic violence, the man beating on the woman or abusing the woman in some way, shape, or form, when it's the woman that's seeming like they're doing most of the, you know, aggression or most of the action in terms of domestic abuse is concerned, do we feel as though like it gets undermined in our society? Key, open this up and share your perspective on how you feel as though certain things like domestic abuse is viewed from just a public perspective when it's the when roles are reversed.
Um, like who's bringing up this episode, and I was thinking about it, but as you speak about it right now, I just thought about it. Another example that's currently going on right now is the Jonathan Major situation. I don't know if y'all know about the Jonathan Major situation with the girl, and he was accused of all these things that he did to her, and there was no facts proven about it. And the whole everybody, his agents left him. He lost.
Hmm.
He didn't lose movie things. I think he still got like some roles, but like opportunities he lost. And he like what's going on is he clearly had no evidence against him that he did something, and the police like kind of dropped it off. But since it's just his image that is, very important, and he's trying to still keep his career, he has to take her to court. And right now in court, they have videos and footage about this man not doing anything and actually her abusing him. And I saw something earlier about it on Twitter. I don't know if it's real, but I think they are actually going to arrest her because she was abusing him. I don't know if it's 100% true. I got to look into that again. But the thing that really goes into this when it comes to social media that pisses me off the most is that these dimes will do this domestic stuff and do bad things, and everybody's hating and bashing the guy, and when it's like not true or like they didn't actually do anything that the claim that the guy did, it's like, okay, it's going right there. Yeah, like
Hmm.
bro, that's what's fucked up. So I mean, with this whole JT and Uzi thing, I don't want to. I don't want to. It's tough because it's like I don't want to go into it, but like they're black, so it's like okay, yeah, she's doing that, so we don't care. She's another ratchet girl in the hood hitting on some nigga.
Right.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it boils down to a lot of
And
times.
yeah, so it's like it's not. If she was white doing that, they still wouldn't care. Probably they probably somebody would like, oh, what white girl. But if it was a roles would switch, and it'd be a whole uproar.
It's a whole
So it's
uproar.
it's just that's stuff that it pisses me off. But I mean, it's the life we live. Unfortunately, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like before real quick before I get you in here, Smack, I just want to point out like a lot of times we have gender roles and gender norms, so to speak, is something that is very much still a thing in society, and a lot of times people say that they're open to et cetera, acting whatever way they want to act, but a lot of times, and you could just see it in a lot of their viewpoints to certain things. There's a very clear cut mindset as far as how they feel like certain things should transpire. There's a lot of people think that a man should be the dominant one in the relationship, and a lot of times they feel like the woman should be more submissive and things of that nature. When in reality, that doesn't apply to every single relationship, nor does people say the man should be the breadwinner. He should be the one that's bringing in the bread, bringing in whatever the case may be. I know a personal situation where roles are reversed and things have been lovely. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times in society we get very caught up in this mindset of being very specific and attaching certain definitions to certain things that may not be representative nor may be like cognizant of the various, different interactions and relationships we may have in the world today. So Smack, what you think about just how domestic violence is viewed from the other way around?
Generally, I feel like it's just made as a joke, as we can see in social media. We just see a lot of laughs, a lot of trolls. Guy, like, especially like, I don't want to bring no hate onto the female side, but kind of like females just kind of like always going against the man and not just trying to be like just generally objective and just trying to see like all the facts of the situation and then okay, let me make my decision here from there instead of just assuming like, oh, JT threw the phone at Uzi. Uzi definitely must have did something wrong. Like
Yeah.
JT, there's no way JT could have overreacted. Impossible. She was well within her rights, no matter what happened. No matter allegedly he took a picture with Ice Spice, just a simple picture
Hmm.
allegedly.
Hmm.
So apparently we have to. They're okay to throw phones and just act however they want to act, but let it be a man. Let JT take a picture with whoever was there at the BET Awards, and then Uzi be mad, be tight, and then he's supposed to be calm. He's supposed to be cool because I guess that's what, as a man, that's what we hear a lot. That's what he should do. So, but like, it just really just gets taken light of, in my opinion. They really don't care because as a man, like they don't really care about our feelings. We just gotta be the strong, impenetrable wall, that leader that doesn't get phased by anything.
Right, right. I love the way you put that. And just a disclaimer before we continue the conversation. Just as though all of our conversations have been in the past, nothing that we say on this podcast is supposed to be, reminiscent of the entirety of said population that we might be speaking of. Of course, we understand that there's women that are very much, correct in their viewpoints as far as seeing the wrong in situations like that. Whereas you might have others that feel as though because he's a man, he got to do X, Y, Z. He has to be able to put up with X, Y, Z. So this is not an attack on anybody. This is just our perspective of what we feel like we've seen throughout the trends of social media and the reactions to certain things that we've seen. So, like Smack just brought up, he brought up the fact that a lot of people were blaming it on the fact that he was taking pictures. He Ice Spice posted that picture of them two together or whatever at the BET Awards, and a lot of the comments were saying. Like specifically the video that we brought up earlier, where JT kind of yanks Uzi into the frame to take a picture with this woman. I saw so many comments that said things along the lines of, "Oh yeah, nigga, since you want to take pictures with everybody, come hop in this picture, right?" Or et cetera, et cetera. Like it's shit like that. I just be like, "Damn, bro."
Bro, that shit, man, I'm
It's
laughing.
great. No, it's funny. It really is funny, but it's just like, yo, like, just
Damn.
I really watch things like that and see things like that and think if this was the other way around, it would be a whole different reaction to this. Like if roles are reversed and Uzi is snatching JT, pulling her into a picture or something like that, you
He
know,
is getting jumped and put in jail.
he's getting canceled. It's so much going on. It's so many things going on, and I just, you know, it's a difficult discussion because at what point do we first off, I know we shouldn't be getting into anybody's business. That wasn't the point of this discussion. I don't even know what specifically them two may be having going on. It's nothing along the lines, but just because this is something that has been trending recently and something that we've seen across social media, it's just caused the need for certain discussions. So that's the reason we bring up things like that. But key to transition the discussion, how do you feel as though us men, right, are supposed to react in situations where we feel as though, we may be getting slighted or we may be getting disrespected in some way, shape, or form. But like Smack said, a lot of times we're expected to be this unpenetrable, unpenetrable wall. I'm trying to keep up with your vocabulary, Smack. We're trying to be, somebody that is supposed to be able to, take whatever hits that come to us and just brush it aside and keep it pushing. Like, do you think that's the proper reaction to things like this? Or do you feel like as though men need to find a way to, express their feelings and express their emotions in a way that it could be related and translated and hopefully, lead to better conclusions? What do you think?
Um, it's I'm in a difficult part right now in my life because like I've been in nothing similar to domestic violence, but I've been in some situations where I'm dealing with a dime and it's just not clicking. It's not giving any like I feel like even if let's say he does suck it all up. Like I saw there's a clip of it after the aftermath, like he was talking to her or whatever. It's like you talking to this person about something and you discussing it, this and that third. It's like, bruh, I'm not saying I know Lakers, we don't know relationship or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure we've seen clips of her being aggressive with that nigga before, and this is probably something normal. That's why he didn't like overreact, because we know Uzi got a little history of him doing mutton stuff too,
Right.
but with his ex. So I don't know anything they got going on, but like me personally, it's like that's why like, we always have discussions back in high school, like, bro, like, oh, your girl beat up on you a little bit. That's not their girl. Might pull on you a little bit. Like, bro, that's dead to me. Like, I don't like that type of stuff. I didn't grow up in that. That's something that I see as cute. That's not funny to me. Like, don't be trying to beat up on a dude thinking it's fun or whatever. Because I know people are now going to say, like, oh, y'all mutton it. They cool. This, and that, third. It was just joking around. She was probably drunk. Like, that's an excuse. Like, no, none of that shit's an excuse. None of that shit's cool. Because like we said, if you keep holding in and you keep chilling, it's gonna be one good ass day when she like, man, shut the fuck up. And then your ass gonna give it a 1-2 with a small drink and a large fry. Like, and
Right.
then it's gonna be a whole crazy situation.
It's gonna be a
So
whole
it's like,
different. It's gonna be a whole different situation.
exactly, bro. I always see that. I always compare that shit to slap boxing. Y'all niggas love
Mm-hmm.
to slap box in the bathroom. Y'all niggas love doing that shit.
I'm
Keep on
telling
the
you.
slap box. All right, now you hit me a little too hard. I'm not slapping you. I'm gonna punch the shit out of you, and I'm not doing that, bro. I don't
That
do
was
that.
always the issue. A nigga get
Uh,
slapped. Oh.
Yeah, the crowd, the reaction is the
and the thing
reaction.
is, the rule is like if you hit someone a little too close, oh my fault, bro, my fault, bro, I'm chilling. Niggas be
Right.
like, yeah,
Yeah, bro.
hey, yo, like, bro, that's dead, that's dead.
I'm telling
And
you.
bro, then like how you gonna play fighting and shit is cool, but you hit throwing your phone, call me fuck nigga, this and that, third, and bitch pick up my phone, bro. I heard bitch pick up my phone. Stop it on that shit. Talking about about your phone.
Yeah,
But
I'm telling you.
all shit is though I don't like that stuff at all. I don't condone it, and it's something that I actually take serious. Like that's like all that red flag shit that people mud it, but red flag things are like that should be it's a real thing. Like if you hitting on dudes and shit like that, that's your thing. Do you got someone that you like you do that? That's not with me. I don't like that at all, and I
Right.
don't think that should be portrayed out there like as a norm.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. A lot of these things are things that we see, as, traits or attributes of, these toxic relationships and environments that we always, tend to see. Like you might have your homeboy that's like, you don't want to say nothing to him, but you notice certain things along the lines of, yo, like, why should he pushing you like that whenever we hang out? Or why is like every now
I
and
can't
then
leave.
this, hey, why is it, it's always a little something that's just like a little too, a little iffy along the lines, but it's, it's a lot of time, like we said, society has a certain predisposition where it's like, okay, like, you're a man at the end of the day, and this is something that you're supposed to be able to take. And a little roughing up from a woman or whatever the case may be is supposed to be laughed off, and it's supposed to be something that you're supposed to move past. When in reality, that you know works against the men's mental health that we sometimes preach about and try to advocate for. And it's like, yo, we're expecting you to be this macho individual. We're expecting you to be this stand up citizen when whenever it's time for you to come out with your feelings or for you to express yourself, we look at it like, yo, this nigga being a bitch, like this nigga being soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's being soft or he's being pussy or something like that. When in reality, it's
Nigga-
like, bro, like I have feelings too. I may not need to express them all the time, but there could very well be a situation where I'm going through something that you would never know. And you expect me to come here and be this same, light up the room or lift up your spirits type of person. When in reality, you don't even check for me to see if I'm even capable of being that same person for you in your life because you gotten used to me being that person. And now when it's time for me to express my feelings or for me to, lay things out there, either I'm being too sensitive or this isn't the dial or this isn't the key or this isn't the smack that I know from et cetera past. Like, no, that's not what this is. I've done a good job of, masking it in order to still be that uplifting person in your life. But like, what about me, And it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Um,
Go ahead.
I want to say something. Oh,
Hmm.
okay. It's a lot of foreshadowing, and it's a lot of it's like people say like before you get a relationship, you gotta love yourself,
Right.
and it's like if someone doesn't love themselves and they rely on another individual to share and give them happiness or make things better for them or mentally make them strong. Like we're human beings at the end of the day, and like you said, there's some days where you can't give that energy, and for them to be like, "What the hell? What is wrong with you? Why aren't you doing this?" and they start questioning their relationship, that's not cool, bro. And like that's what the mental thing goes into a lot of men. I don't know it's all men, but is men fucking men mental health. Uh, it's not only men, women go through it too, but it's like that shit's like it's really draining. And I feel like we can't even I want to say like the core of it and where it comes from is probably from like our parents and their relationships
Hmm.
and maybe like before then and then and it is continuing down. But
Right.
it's like we all like we're grown up now and it's like we gotta like start realize different things too though. It's like it can't be it has to be more open scale on things. And we as humans we don't really have that open scale. We don't always see the outside thing. Like someone could be doing something to you and they could really be just using you for your energy, your mental drain and all that stuff. And they wouldn't know. They think it's normal because that's part of what their mom and dad went through. That's part of what their friends went through or uncle or whatever. And it's like one day if you as a partner relationship is having an off day, it's like the NBA been like, oh, this been going 0 for 20. He supposed to be a superstar. Like, and
Right.
that's just not cool, bro. That's just not cool because we're human beings and we're not perfect. And we should like just really care and we should care and really try to understand each other. If not, well, I know we can't fully understand each other, but at least, give effort to it and see like, okay, he's not perfect or she's not perfect like something's probably going on. Let me be there to support, or let me give them some space so they can really get over things.
Right, right. Yeah, at a certain point in time, some of these, tradition is cool and tradition is something, I can advocate for because at the end of the day, you know, everything, history repeats itself, right? And at the end of the day, there is that wisdom in age because just because you've been there, you've seen certain things and you can advise somebody, right or wrong and, lead them towards a better outcome a lot of the times. But certain traditions, I feel like it's about that time where certain traditions die in the perspective of like tradition cannot be the end all be all for the decisions that you make in your life. Yeah, we got to throw them shits out because a lot of times these traditions are built off of toxic ideals and are built off of, just strict negativity. And Smack, I want to transition the conversation to you because, like we pointed out earlier, we had some people, well, there have been some comments on Twitter and social media saying things like, oh, referring back to the JT and Uzi situation, y'all don't understand that that's the type of girl that JT is. She from Miami, she from the crib, whatever the case may be. She's naturally more aggressive, or more dominant in certain things, and he probably liked that shit, which is true. I'm not here to speak on their relationship. I'm not here to speak on their dynamic, but is where somebody's from and is their upbringing and their, their background a good enough excuse to be like, yeah, that is why they may act XYZ way or why they might react a certain way. Do we feel as though her being from Miami or them coming up from a different environment and them naturally being like that is a cop out for some things that, you know, are would be viewed as negative in any other situation? Smack, what you think?
I'm a little split in between because I kind of look at it as both sides because we all grow up from many different situations. We all coming from many different households, and then we all have gone through many different experiences. And so I say like I kind of am lenient with like little things and such as okay, I understand that you might be a little aggressive here because you might have grown up with a lot of males, you know. Maybe your household was a little bit more toxic. Maybe you've seen maybe your mom getting beaten on or such and
Mm-hmm.
such, parents, siblings fighting and all that. So you are lenient to a certain extent. But now I feel like as you get older and as you mature and as you kind of like see the world, so I say by like when you're 18 and you're getting into college, and around through those colleges, I feel like there's kind of no excuse at that point because I feel like at that point you should have seen just enough. Like you've been around, you've seen like you have different friends. Like you've seen like obviously with social media, you're seeing so many different things, so many different lives. You know, so it's like you're exposed to a lot of things, and so you kind of know, okay, this is kind of right, this is kind of wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this as much. Maybe I do need to control my aggressiveness. Maybe I should like refrain from being so vulgar with my words, like just cursing so much. Maybe I should stop doing that and kind of better myself on that. And I feel like that's where I kind of cut it off because at some point you kind of realize and you see throughout the world like okay, certain things are acceptable and certain things are not, and it's just whether or not whether you want to be that person to grow or you want to stay ignorant and be the same and still stay in that cut and use that excuse like, oh, I grew up from like a lot of people like to say in New York like the New York women are very aggressive. Like I grew up from New York, like I've been around the block. Oh, this like I curse so much, like like it's where I'm from, is what I do, is what I'm used to. And it's like yeah, we get it. Like so I understand it's kind of ingrained in you, but at a certain point it's like okay, are you gonna just let that be who you are? And continue like in that aspect, or are you going to change and evolve and grow as a person?
Yeah, yeah, that evolution is key because a lot of times, we see people a lot of times get stuck or they allow themselves to be boxed up in the whole this is where I'm from, this is how I was brought up type of narrative. When in reality, yes, it's okay to, you're supposed to embrace who you are. We're not telling you not to embrace who you are because at the end of the day, I can't change you. And the reason I'm probably here is because I like you the way you are for real. You see what I'm saying? But in reality, it's like there's a fine line between it being who you are and you demonstrating it through your actions or your personality or whatever the case may be versus you taking it to the extreme and then now it's kind of getting excessive to the perspective of like yo like just chill out, like why are you acting XYZ way and then you're trying to justify it by saying that's how I was brought up or that's who I am when in reality sometimes that's just not, it's just uncalled for and it's just something that is just not fair for the people around you to have to deal with it. And excuse me, something I wanted to bring up to Key's point earlier. Key was speaking about just the viewpoints towards, the whole ideal and the whole dynamic of men being super strong and when the days in which they're not able to be that same person that they always are, you start, looking at them funny or certain things like that. PSA to everybody watching, please check on your people in some way, shape, or form. If you feel like somebody is off today, or you feel like they're not giving that same energy that you've grown accustomed to, there might be a reason, bro. And even you asking them, yo, like you straight, like you're not as as joyful as you may always be. Like, is everything all right? They may very well be good, and they're just tired that day. But the the thought of you checking in and being able to ask them these questions and them feeling as though you really take their, their well-being seriously, and you're taking that into account, it's very much appreciated. And a lot of men don't hear it a lot. I remember I was watching an episode of the Pivot podcast, and Channing Crowder was speaking about how a lot of times the funniest person in the room, or like, the brightest, the funniest person, the guy that cracks the most jokes, whatever, it's often the saddest. It's often the person going through the most. It's often the person that, you know, is not speaking or is keeping their shit suppressed because they feel as though they've grown into the persona. They've taken up the role of, I'm supposed to be the class clown. I'm supposed to be the guy that, somebody's having a bad day. Let me pick you up. Let me say something that's going to cheer you up. When in reality, like, who the fuck is doing that for me? Nobody,
Mm.
you know? And a lot of times we brush that aside because we're used to that person being that, that outlet for us. When in reality, these are the same people that need the checkup. And this relates to the whole men thing that we were talking about. Like, men are, yes, we need to be leaders. We need to be strong. We need to be people that, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, when it comes down for the rubber to meet the road, we can call on the man in our family to lead us out of whatever struggle we in. But even they need help sometimes, you know, even they need help sometimes, man. So we just wanted to use this episode to really, harp in on men's mental health and, something that gets undervalued, I feel like, in society a lot. So, we appreciate y'all for listening, but if anybody wants to add anything else before we get up out of here, Key or Smack, any more points you guys want to make, because feel free, the floor is yours.
Um, it's a little bit going back to what McKenna was saying about like we know where you damn that nigga done coughing. we know we
Hey,
know
hey, tell on me I had to mute up.
it was
Yeah, dude.
you can go crazy. But we know like where you come from, whatever, where you are, like also when you said that, I was like, yeah, that's what we like about you because where you grew up, like you probably grew up in the hard area and you don't act fake. You like you real natural, you real blunt. But it's like there's some things that you can't do and keep going with and use as an excuse, like, oh, I'm from here, da, da, da. Like, there's codes and switches that you have to do as an individual. And it's hard because it's like if you're with someone you're in a relationship with, that's when you feel more comfortable with, someone that you want to release yourself with. But when it comes down to situations where it's like, oh, you're beating on your partner, or I know people, it's not as like she's not like we don't know for real what's going on, but it's not like she's beating it every time. But it's like that could start something. That could be okay. She beat on him, now it's cool. Then she keep beating on. Then one day we hear Uzi beating on her. Like hopefully not, God forbid. But those things are reactions that keep going on, and it's like you said, it's like maybe one day it was like sit down and talk with your partner, like, yo, like, you okay? Like, you don't gotta keep going on with this charade. You don't gotta keep going on with this thing. Like, we could talk about things like something probably happened in your past life. It's all communication, bro. And all communication, understanding, support, because most of the time people never had that talk before. Most of the time people always had that mentality. It's like, this is life. Fuck it, keep going.
Yeah,
And we release a lot of emotions built up that we don't even know that we have built up inside, and just think that's regular. And it's the same thing with the guy being the class. Like, bro, the class clowns, when we were jits, were probably going through shit. And they was just naturally laughing and doing stupid shit in class because that's their only way they can release what's going on inside them.
that's the
And
outlet. Yeah,
that's the outlet. And it's like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, stop using that as excuse. But it's like, oh, like, as you get older now, it's like you could work at it and attack that thing. You can't just let that shit stay there. You could attack it and be, better, or at least try to. It's always trying. It's like Major Key, like
Psych
talking about
Major
this shit,
Key. Come on now.
but
Y'all better
but
y'all better
yeah,
y'all better listen to the man. He know what he talking about now. Psych Major,
it's a
y'all know that
little
boy.
bit. It's a little bit. That's what the real thing is. That's why like it's so tough because you want to bring that up in conversations, but it just gets when what's really going on and people don't want to hear it. But that's the truth though. Like you really sometimes hit someone up or really look in the mirror and see, am I okay? or tell someone else like, yo, are you what are you going through, like this small thing. And sometimes when you talk to people and hear them talk, you can really hear things that's going on that's like, damn, that's a little upsetting, and it's like they think it's normal, and it's
Yeah.
like it's really rough out there. So I hope the best for everybody. I hope the best for JT and Uzi and them, everybody, because it's a rough life that we live in. You never know what anybody's going through.
Yeah.
I like how like awful.
No, go ahead.
I like how like when we talk, like not even on the pod, but like in regularly when we were like, yo, how you doing? Like you got boy straight? Like, we do it every now and then. We in the PS PlayStation party or when we see each other in person, and it's like at this point it's so nonchalant, but it's like check up on your bros, and that's just
Yeah.
something that I think a lot of people implement in themselves.
Right.
That's all I
Right.
gotta say.
I feel
And
that.
to add on to that, I want to give a big shout out to Key and Dow and my other brothers, and then a really bigger shout out to
Oh, now he
Melissa.
getting so up
My,
on us, man. Yeah, no, okay, go ahead, go ahead.
because them boys would be checking up on me, because I always say, like, they'll check up on me and say like, oh, I'm good, and then, let me say I'm chilling, and like most of the time I really do, because like my older sister Melissa, she be the biggest one that be checking up on me, and she'll tell me like, oh, it's okay, like if you're not feeling all right, just to let me know, you could talk about it. And, I'm not really one of the biggest guys to like talk about my emotions, because I like to just keep everything happy, keep everything fun, because I just that's what I want the energy to always be around. And then obviously, like, it can't always be that way, especially every situation is different. But I kind of like to give that good energy, because I feel like if that's what's there, then I feel like I'm good, and it's like everything's good, so I could like everything in the world is good, so I keep moving forward. And it's just it could be tough, because it's like just talking about it is like you just can't find the words, and then you just don't want to. I feel like not necessarily like cause problems, but it's just like you just be wanting to keep peace. So that's why, like, at least for me, I don't really be saying much, because it's just like I feel like most of the issues, like, it could be solved. And like what I've kind of developed the mindset is like, everything, it's gonna be all right, and everything is gonna, it's gonna turn out to be okay in the end. Like everything will be good in the end. You just gotta be patient, and that's my mindset when things are down or things are just not looking good. It's just like I just think, oh, okay, it's gonna work out in the end. I just gotta be patient.
Yeah, that's real, man. That's real. We appreciate you showing us some taking a second to give us our flowers, man. We thank you for doing the same thing for us, bro. Like, our friend group, and like, y'all will learn about this the more, the longer this MKZ journey goes on. But like this shit, like, it's deeper than just a friend group, bro. Like, all of us have really become family, and it's it's really something, like, this brotherhood and this, just family we've been able to build. It's just something that I appreciate so much, because like not everybody has, a very solid support system that they feel like they could lean on, and, have these conversations with and things of that nature. So God bless me and, the people around me to be able to have, guys like Key and guys like Smack that I can always go to if I need to talk shit or if I need some advice. It's all love at the end of the day, regardless. So appreciate y'all for all this shit, man. And appreciate y'all for listening, man. We really do. We really hope that we was able to resonate with some of y'all's situations today, and hopefully we were able to give you guys, some sort of advice, or, you know, just some sort of good conversation. I'm lagging a little bit. I know. We got to work on. We got.
You get that, you get that.
I'm pretty sure somebody trying to DDoS MKZ, because before we recorded this episode, like, a whole bunch of shit was going off, bro. But
We was going
Yeah,
through
yeah,
it, boy.
yeah.
it
I
was
hear you.
going through it. But we always gonna bring the content out for y'all, man. We always working for y'all. So appreciate y'all for sticking with us. Just so we can end the episode on more of a positive note. Like we said, we started this episode talking about Uzi. He was basically the topic of the situation, of this discussion.
Ozzy.
His album is about to come out, and literally right now it's like what, an hour and shit. I'm not good at math. About 14 minutes.
Hour 15, yeah, hour
14?
13.
Yeah,
14,
out of
14.
14, now 13. So it's 10:47. So his album coming out very soon. We want to ask y'all a question, and let me ask my brothers a question real quick. Favorite Uzi song? Favorite, matter of fact, let me say favorite Uzi song and favorite Uzi album. If you listen to Uzi like that, if you don't, then it's okay. But if you had to pick your favorite Uzi album and favorite Uzi song, I feel like I could start.
Damn.
I know
My
yours already.
Yeah, you know mine already. My favorite Uzi album though.
Dear mama.
Hey, vibe, man. Don't spoil my shit. You already spoiled my shit. Hey, see, look, that's how much we know each other, y'all boys. That's how much we know each other. But nah, so favorite album, I feel like, damn, bro. It's so many that was just so hard to me. Like from early
No,
Uzi
facts, bro.
to late Uzi, like Buddy has been snapping from like Eternal to Take and shit like that. It's been so much that he's had so much, but I feel like my number one album. And let me just pull up my Spotify just to make sure I don't get the name wrong, because I love Uzi, but I'm not a diehard Uzi fan like some motherfuckers. So I might get some of his album names
Yeah, the
wrong,
Uzi
but
fans, they gonna come after you, boy.
they coming after me if I say something wrong. I'll probably say Lil Uzi versus the World for sure. His classic one where he had like "Stay on my piece of my cues, yeah, stay on my piece of my." You feel me? Some of that's that old Uzi. That's that classic
Money
Uzi.
longer.
Yeah, Money Longer. I'll probably say that's my favorite Uzi album. And favorite Uzi song, fuck nigga smack already spoiled it, bro. Dark Queen, Lil Uzi, off of that Love Is Rage 2. It's a classic, bro. And the fact that he's talking about his parents and his mama, bro. Lord knows I love my mama, so that song resonates with me, boy. So yeah, that's it for me. Who want to go next?
Shout out
Silence,
to
Yeah,
crickets.
yeah.
So my favorite Uzi song, man, that's tough because he has so many bangers,
That's
He
especially
hard,
do got
like.
bro.
he do got bangers.
But I'll start off with my favorite album. It's got to be Eternal to Take. I ain't gonna lie, it had a lot of bangers on there.
Okay, new Uzi. Okay, fuck with it.
My favorite song, I say I go right now.
Mm-hmm.
It, and me and dog, we was riding. I forgot. I think we was going to FIU. We was bumping this jump, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that shit was hitting.
What song
This
you talking
shit.
about?
Hold on.
Don't play it, get us
Blocking my
copyrighted.
purse.
Oh,
GD,
I
what
thought
is
you were
it?
about to play it, get us copyright strike.
No, 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 no. I just had to find this. I don't know the name,
Oh, you
but
talking
yeah,
about blocking
blocking
my
my purse.
purse?
Plug in my
Yeah.
purse. Yeah, plug. Oh, that
Gotta Glock in
that
my
little
purse.
mixtape.
Medicine on the
Yeah,
fur. What the
Purse.
money's a
yeah,
fur?
Purse.
Come on, bro. That shit hard.
yeah.
That shit hard. Okay, Key, round us off, boy.
Uh, see, I could go.
Damn, he's glitching, y'all. He's glitching.
Oh shit! I
Oh
was,
man,
I
that's a
was
clip.
thinking, I was thinking of like early Uzi albums too, because you brought them up. But like
Mhm.
early Uzi albums, like they're fire, they're amazing, they're goated. But there's always like some song like eh. One
Mhm.
album that like really got me to Uzi, one album that really got me, I can't skip no songs on it. I can skip like one or two songs. Is Love Is Rage 2.
Uh,
Love
Love
is
Is
Rage
Rage
2.
2.
That
And
shit
my
hard.
favorite Uzi song, like Dark Queen is definitely top three, but my number one song that I listen to all the time that no matter what happens in life, I could play that bitch
Mhm.
20 minutes.
Ooh.
okay.
I
You
said,
can play
girl,
that
why
in
you
any
keep
situation.
calling? I said, girl, why
You're
you
right, I'm calling. Yeah.
21.
Bro, that's a classic, bro. That's a classic. There's a
Hey,
remix. I think some random nigga dropped it. I think it's called 40 Minutes, but I gotta send it to y'all boys. That shit's so hard. But yeah, 20 Minutes is a classic, bro.
20 minutes.
It's a
so we
classic.
can't
Yeah.
forget about EXO tour.
Oh, EXO Tour Life, man.
It was
So
cool at first, but it got overhyped. It just
it did get played out a little bit. It did get played out a little bit. But let's not drag out this episode, man. Thank y'all everybody for tuning in to another episode of MKZ the podcast. As we said, this is the first of our, summer segments called Life in the Off Season. We're gonna be talking about different things throughout life. We're still coming sports fans. We still got y'all, okay? Don't think that we forgot about y'all because there's some bombshell news. Free agency opens up tomorrow in the NBA at 6 p.m.
hmm
I'm locked in for that. I'm tuned in. If the Heat don't make some moves, it's a fucking problem.
Lord have
Okay.
mercy.
Lord have mercy. Right? I'm locked in for that. Zion, we on your ass. We're coming to talk
Ooh,
about
that boy
you.
love freaky boy.
Right. We coming to talk about you very soon, Z. So, we know it's a lot of news out there. We coming to talk about all of it. So just be patient with us and we're gonna get this content out as soon as we can. So as always, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We love y'all. Shout out to MKZ and until next time, gang.